I gotta hit it. Oh, hello and welcome to another episode 10, I believe.
Nine.
Or 9, sorry, episode 9. I thought you said 9 earlier, but it's episode 9 of Rewind with Ro. I am your. There you go. I don't know. I'm the guy who runs the show.
What was that?
And this is my co-host Rob. How are you, Rob?
I am great. I'm great. I'm actually really sick, but you can't tell because it's it's virtual.
Okay, so Rob and I both have our own things going on. I just came back from a company party. Yeah. This is
Oh
water.
God.
This is water. I had 2 hours company party, so I am live. I'm ready to go. And Rob's dealing with some stuff, but hopefully he looks great though. He looks great, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks. Thanks.
How you been? I haven't seen you since Japan when we did a live show there. That was fun. What's been
That
going
was fun. Yeah, I've just been living the life, doing the things. Wish I was in Japan, but I wasn't.
I mean,
I'm a little jelly, but what can I say?
I inspire Rob. Don't be
Yes, you do. You do.
Be your best. Be great.
Japan is on my list of places to visit. So, yeah, you definitely inspired me. I need to get back to it.
You're not gonna get it like I got it though, because the yen was nothing. I almost listen. Let me tell you something. I looked at wifey. I was like, I might have to get another suitcase just to put Nikes in, because the Nikes at a 150 here were like $90, $85 over there.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was crazy. Dinner. I mean, the most expensive dinner we did. Sorry to cut you off and go on a tangent. 220. I think 230 was the most expensive dinner we had. Everything else was like $50, $60.
That's insane. That's insanely amazing.
Having drinks, having a good time, like unreal. So we were in Japan at a great time when the yen was really low.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a blast. I would highly recommend book everything in advance, and yeah, always hit me up for that. But besides that, what else is going on with you? Any big acting gigs coming up, or you've been auditioning? What's going on?
Oh yeah. Just had some big ones. Had some big ones this weekend. I had 7.
Oh,
which is great. I'm like,
you guys don't understand. That's big. You get 7 auditions. Big.
That's huge.
The more the merrier, and you just got to do the percentage of what you get. You have the look, but we're trying to figure this out. You look like the guy who's going to be the guy, but
I'll be the guy that's the guy who knows the guy. I'm cool with that.
Do you ever just mix it up on an audition? You ever get frustrated? I remember back in the day when I lived in LA, I would get frustrated and I would do an audition. I'd be like, I'm just going to try it this way. Just like be somebody I am totally not, like intro myself and then go into the character. Do you just mix it up all the time, or you stick to the plan?
No, I stick to the plan. Because a lot of these casting directors like the plan. They don't like when you like stray and crazy. But there's a couple who are like, have fun, do whatever you want. And I'm like, okay, cool, but that's also stressful.
That's true. All right.
But yeah, no, it's great. It was great. I cannot complain. I am filled with nothing but gratefulness and joy, and a little bit of colds. It's not COVID or flu, so. I went to the urgent care and they told me
dog. That's the only person who's gonna get it, Rob.
So exactly.
So I had some fun tonight, and I picked 2 movies that, ladies and gentlemen, we were gonna get an honest answer from Rob tonight. It's gonna be a good time. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this. So anyway, our 2 films tonight are Hip Hop Family Christmas, that is currently streaming on VH1 right now. That stars, I mean, when I tell you hip hop all over the place, hippity hop. Clarence J, you've seen him on everything. Think Like a Man, on E Network, always doing the premieres and stuff like that. A big promoter of the HBCU colleges, so shout out to him. Didn't wear a single jacket in the whole movie, but anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But this is his movie. He is the star of this film. It basically stars, it's a hip hop most famous family agrees to participate in a live Christmas wedding to promote to sort of address the negativity that's going on that happened in the past. So it's kind of like an Empire, show that was on Fox, but it's a movie, right? They had a dark past, but they're successful now, and now you're seeing their kids kind of go through that fame and try to build the empire, but not realizing what they're doing and all the reckless spending. And then some old dirt comes up, and so they kind of have to face that through the film. I love the idea here in concept. It's taking place during the holidays. So we're going to see a wedding. We get to hear the Christmas music, and we get to see like so many generations of hip hop, in this film. My rule of thumb, any more than 2 people of hip hop in a film, chances are it's going to be a tough one. But, this film, it's a good family film. It's fun. There's laughter. There's moments that I was like, that it just reminds you of home. So for me, when I watched this, I didn't get time to spend time with my family during Thanksgiving because I was in Japan. But this film it brought me home like, oh man, that's my cousin, that's my uncle, that's my sister. It was all of that there. Rob, what did you think of the film? Hip Hop Family Christmas. Okay, Rob, give me some positive points of Hip Hop Family Christmas.
Ooh. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. If you don't have something nice to say, boy, I don't have anything nice to say. It was wow. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Let me help you out. Okay, again, this is not Black Film's opinion. This is Rob's opinion of this film.
Now, let me say this. Like, I was super excited because I was like, ooh, it's, Carrie Hilson and MC Lyte and Redman. And it's like all of these, like, people who are iconic and
Neo is in it too. Neo even drops a couple of songs. You know what, Rob? I think I would have loved this film a lot more if it was a musical. At that point, you had nothing to lose. Just go musical.
Okay, I'm gonna start here. Right?
Bow Wow is the best actor in this film.
Look. So the production, the way they shot it was so like confusing and weird, and like it just didn't. It felt like, okay, I get that they were trying to like mix in this idea of them having like this docu-follow reality show of the family, but it didn't come off like feeling like you were watching the docu-follow footage. It felt like I was watching somebody on their like cell phone record a movie. And it just, bro, like I'm trying not to be mean.
Speak your truth, Rob. Speak your truth.
I really wanted this to be good. It just all around. I don't know what was happening. It was like a lot of weird improv. It felt like it just was strange.
Rob, this movie is 3 out of 4 stars, by the way. Do you know that?
On what?
IMDb, there's a lot of streamings.
Maybe because everybody's friends and cousins was like.
Again, I think there's something for everybody here in this film. The reason why I selected, because a couple of people I follow, now it makes sense. I forgot Jamie Foxx was a big promoter of this, but his liquor was all throughout the film, so I forgot that. So he was promoting. But I love Terrence J. He's been great in Think Like a Man. It almost had a Boomerang vibe too, right? It's like 3 shows and movies in one. You had Boomerang meets Empire, right? In terms of that, like he tries to talk to his coworker, who's his boss, right? And she's telling him, "Hey, man, you're spending too much money," which is the same thing Eddie Murphy was doing in Boomerang, right? And then it's telling him, and then he's like, "Yo, I got to stop coming across this player, and I got to downplay that and find love." So there's a bunch of love stories in here, the good with the bad in terms of new relationships. Question I want to ask you, Rob. There's a moment in the movie where the character is getting married to Neo. Neo plays Jason Shannon and is getting married to Terrence J's sister, Carrie Hilson. Carrie Hilson gets a gift from her ex, which is a very expensive chain. Her ex is actually the guy who played Tupac. It's Demetrius Shipp Jr. plays Derek Lanson. He pops. I'm like, oh, okay, little cameo. And he gives her a really expensive chain, but he tries to explain, hey, I didn't mean it like that. So, question: your ex gets something like this, a gift, a very expensive gift. Is that okay if there's nothing still going on, or is there going to be drama?
Well, I think it depends on the level of maturity of the people in that relationship, honestly, because I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm not like a hyperly jealous person. So I don't just jump to conclusions. So for me, I'll be like, oh, okay, are we keeping it upon in it? Like, what are we going to do? Because I mean, it's nice. Is it a wedding gift for both of us? Like, how's this working? Like, I mean, I felt like they tried to tackle, and to your point, they tried to tackle a lot of a lot of different like storylines. There was
every black storyline is in this film.
Every single one.
Black
so
movie, a black show, every storyline is in this film.
It was a lot. So you had Carrie Hilson trying to move up in her career at the company she worked for. You had her parents dealing with their personal traumas. You had the sister who was played by Soraya, who was dealing with who was like currently most famous from like a social media and like, current day perspective of the people in the family. Terrence J, who was like running the family business. And then you had the infidelities of every single person who was in the family. And then you had their people that they were having affairs with. Then you had all of those storylines. Then you had the storyline of Neo and his mother and their families being more elite than the ghetto family that was the hip hop family. It was just so much. It was a lot. And then you had the storyline of the production company wanting to create a reality show around the family, but secretly doing something shady. So it was just like, I was like, I'm overwhelmed. It's a lot happening. And quite frankly,
you left something out though. You left something out. It took place during Christmas.
And it took place during Christmas, and there was a wedding happening. Like, it was a lot. It was, I was like, who wrote all of these? Who was just like, I want to take every topic I can think of and put it in one movie. It was overwhelming. I'm not trying to be mean. Listen, there's a lot of people out there who probably love this movie. They had a phenomenal cast of like iconic legends in the music industry assembled to be a part of this project. And for that, I'm like, kudos. But this was not the one for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't think it would ever happen. Rob actually gave an honest review. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. He always gives an honest review, but he gave a semi, not as lovely review as he normally does. So you are witnessing something. I mean, I don't know. This is unheard of. It's unprecedented.
And you know why? Because I'm an actor and I don't ever want to like stomp on somebody's art. But man, this one was a hard one to like digest.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to challenge him right now. Rob,
yes.
You interview, you get cast for this. You read the script. Are you turning down the role or not?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not in a place to turn
down.
There
you go, ladies and gentlemen. I knew.
I would have taken the credit and used the leverage to get into another room for another
opportunity. There you go. It's actor, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard out here. Hard out here in the streets.
Hard out here.
The script looks awful, but you know what? This part's not that bad. I can do something with it. I love it. I respect your honesty, though. I appreciate that. Hey, don't lose that.
Thank you. I'm gonna try and keep this momentum going.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is just water here. Just water tonight. I've already had a good night. All right.
It looks like water, so I trust you, and I believe everyone else trusts you.
All right, so let's move right along. Next movie up is called Fantasy Football. This is on Paramount. Paramount is a new stream. Paramount's been around forever. They've been, doing films and movies, but now they have their own streaming network. So there's a lot of interesting shows and new movies that are being showed on there. I personally, the best thing about it, they're doing like free trials right now. So if you're looking to do Paramount, they're not paying me or paying Black Film anything, but I would say download it because you get to watch free movies right now and shows. So Paramount has fantasy football. So this is an interesting idea. A daughter discovers she can magically control her father through football playing through gaming. So it's like Freaky Friday meets Big meets all those movies where people interchange, but instead of the interchange, they put a little spin on it. So Amari Hardwick, who played Ghost, everybody knows that. He is the father who's a washed up running back, and he's been kind of traded to every team under the sun. And this is kind of the end of his career. So he's on this last team. And then the team he's on, there's a young running back who's up and coming, who's just killing it right now. And his daughter happens to be a big fan of his, but also is really good at playing Madden. So she busts everybody's behind when she plays. Now, in doing so, they get invited over to the young rookie's house.
Who's played by Rome Flynn.
Robin Flynn, yeah. Anderson. Sorry. What's it? Rome yeah. Flynn. Sorry. Rome Flynn. He's been in a lot of movies as well. And so he's the young rookie, little cocky, you know, and everything we see, you know, on ESPN with the guys flashing on stuff, that's who he is. He embodies that. He does a great job of that. With that being said, he autographs a video game and gives a video game. On the way home, Amar's character is upset at his daughter for taking the game autographed. And so they argue outside in the pouring rain. By the way, Black folks in the rain in this movie for like longer than 5 minutes, which is unheard of.
Hair just soaked.
Ladies and gentlemen, soaked. Anyway, lightning comes down at the time and he says, I wish, and then boom. And then something happens with the game, gets shocked, and they get shocked at the same time. And then the daughter finds out later that she can control her dad via the games. And this is crazy, right? So all the moves, and if you ever played any Madden or any sports game, you get to see that come to life. And it was really cool. It was like, oh, wow, that's a really cool spin. They've never made a Black film like that. And now on top of that, you get a little sports, but you also get a spin on that. So it was really cool and active. Amari's so small compared to like all the real athletes they have at that.
Yeah.
You know, because they have Tony Gonzalez, which is one of the amazing tight ends. He played for the Falcons, so it takes place in Atlanta. It's all Atlanta based. That's beautiful to see too. So it's black on black, owned, and just you see everybody trying to do this. Shout out again, which listen, Kelly Rowland. This is her second film. She's killing it.
Second one that we've reviewed.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Second one that we reviewed, but she is killing it. So she's playing once again the wife, and she's great. I love her. She's great on screen. Beautiful on screen. What do you think of the film, Rob? Okay.
So now you're putting me back in this section because I love this movie. I was pleasantly surprised. Let me tell you, I was not walking into this movie going, I think I'm gonna really like this. And I sat down and I could not pull myself away from the TV.
It was fun, right? It was fun.
It was smart. It was funny. It was fun. It was extremely well cast. The production quality was like stellar. Marsai Martin, who we all know,
from Blackish.
From Blackish.
Young daughter from Blackish, who was like the outcast of that with the glasses.
Yeah,
like
the nerdy.
She killed it in this. I mean, there were so many things that were amazing.
Yeah, and she's doing so much, and she's so like inspiring, and I just like am overjoyed to see like the direction her career is going, and she's just moving so fast too. And she was great. It was cast so well. She was great. Kelly Rowland was great. Amari was great. Rome Flynn was great. I thought they all did a stellar job. And the story, which I think is completely different from the other film, they tackled a lot, but it was just enough for each character. Like, because the struggle was Marsai Martin's character choosing to either continue helping her father or find a life of her own, like with a group of friends she's now making, because, you know, the whole undertone of the story had been she never had a place to settle down because he always got traded to a new team. And now she's finally finding her footing in Atlanta. And now she has to save her father's career and save her family. So she's like split between the two. So I thought that journey was great. And I thought the journey and that also immediately put her father in a position where he now has to make a choice. Am I going to be selfish and have my daughter like sacrifice the opportunity to finally have roots and friendships and find her voice in school and clubs that she's enjoying? Like, now he has the struggle of, do I, you know, selfishly get her to continue helping me, or do I let her find her way? And then of course that in turn filters over to Kelly Rowland's character, who has kind of been left in the dark. So I think it was very well written. It was perfectly cast, and it was beautifully produced and directed. I thought this film was so good, and all the jokes landed as they should have, where they should have. The timing was impeccable. It was perfectly done. It was a perfectly executed, like, fun Black family comedy to me. And again, and I love that they showed this this upper class successful Black family. I mean, even though the father is a football player, which is whatever, but I still loved seeing this family in like a beautiful house in a nice neighborhood, her going to an established school and wanting to be like successful on a science team. Like, it was great. It was just all around. It was great.
She was like top of the science crew. Like, they relied on her. So it was great to see a Black family that's smart, that gets it and everything. You know, it's everyday things that normally we don't see on film. And that was the best part, I think, about that, right? It was so encouraging. Like, yeah, I can be a sports person, but yes, my kids are this, and that. And my wife is this, you know, so everybody is supportive, which I love. You hit the head on the storyline, right? Earlier, having to choose with that struggle, right? Do I want to be greedy in my career? Think about that. I'm the tail end of my career, but now I have a chance to break records and be this person that I've always wanted to be. And I'm taking all this for my daughter, right? That sacrifice. I love, we don't talk about it enough, I don't think, especially in Black film, the positive father role model, you know, that is there for her, and just being supportive. So I was thinking about it all the time, like her friends, she was missing out on helping them out with the project because she's constantly helping her dad out on the field. And with that being said, they're like, yo, you're spending too much time with your dad. I'm like, seriously, think about that.
Right, like, excuse me?
Like, you know, it's crazy. It's like, that's what you want to hear, right? You want people to say, hey man, you spend too much time with your family. That's beautiful thing to hear. But in this case, it was kind of, you know, for his own personal reasons. And then, as you mentioned earlier, Kelly Rowland finds out later, the mom, she's like, wow, I can't believe this, right? That you can have control of your dad on the field. And two, you know, why was I left out, you know, as a parent? So those secrets that we keep and kind of play your kids back and forth against one another, that's not always good or healthy for relationships. So you kind of learn how they kind of battle that back and forth and kind of get a better situation. I honestly really love that NFL was really invested in this film, because Madden, they actually use the word Madden, John Madden, which is unheard of. Tony Romo's in it. Tony Gonzalez is in it, former tight end for the Falcons. Tony Gonzalez, he's a commentator now, and he was a QB for the Dallas Cowboys. So again, you have football, like real football people represented here. It's not some BS. It does run a little slow sometimes in terms of the, you know, Omari Hardwick. He's not as athletic. He's older now, so it's just like some of the moves, like, all right, that looks like an old man out there. But I don't know if that's acting as much, because they're trying to show he is acting.
Yeah.
And then when he is younger, just like it's repetitive a little bit. But besides that, I really love the film. The editing is amazing. That I thought that was great. The cut scenes going back and forth on the field, that was really great. It was just very fun. It was animated. It was a really good time. So I would highly recommend it as a family film, to like sit down with your kids and kind of just, hey, you want to watch football? We're going to watch a film about that and just have some fun.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. I think I highly recommend this film. I thought it was impeccable. And it was hilarious. I had a good time. I was sitting on the couch by myself laughing out loud. So
oh, I have a quote. There was a one. So there's a scene. This is really fun. So like, if you ever had a character on any kind of game thing, and so the daughter, her friend comes over, and they're trying to work on the arm for this robotics competition. And when he comes over, she leaves the room to get like some food, and he starts playing with the character on Madden, not realizing that that's her dad she's playing with. So if you've ever kind of played with a character, you can change the hair, a mustache, you can make them bigger, smaller. And so they do this scene. I don't want to give it away, but it was hilarious. And then he winds up talking to the young running back when he gets up, and he's like, "Oh, I got my butt back." And he's like, "What? I got my butt back?" He's like, "That's a Gen Z thing, player." Later on, they use the line later. It's like, "I got my butt back." You know, I was crying. I was like, it was just those little one-liners that were great and well delivered. So whoever thought of that did a really great job. It was well done. So shout out to them.
Yes, sir.
What do you give it, Rob?
Fantasy football?
Yeah, 1 out of 10.
What do I give
fantasy football? What do you give it? 1 out of 10?
Well, see, today I feel like there's a fair assessment because I get to give a score that's not going to be this. But again, I thought the comedy was spot on. I thought it was performed impeccably. The jokes landed as they should have, when they should have. It was perfectly cast. I thought Kelly Rowland was great. Marsai Martin was phenomenal. Rome Flynn was great. I thought they all did a great job. It was a beautiful depiction of a Black family. I'm going to give this a 10. It was done that well to me. Like I cannot find one thing about this movie that I didn't like. I literally can't find one thing about this movie that I did. Well, no, I can't find one thing about this movie that I didn't like.
All right. There he is. He's back.
Pins across the board.
You want to see an amazing film, fantasy football for the kids, for you, just family time. I definitely recommend, one, downloading Paramount, and then definitely watching the film Fantasy Football. I didn't ask Rob earlier because I knew he was going to do this. So before we leave, ladies and gentlemen, Rob, Hip Hop Family Christmas.
Wait, you have to score fantasy football first.
I give it an 8. Fantasy football was an 8. And why I give it an 8 is because I was really shocked that it was better than I thought. Going into the movie, I was like, oh, we're doing a Freaky Friday like big thing. I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be awful. But I love the spin and made me think about it. The reason why I'm not giving it a 10 because it's like I don't want to say downplay a Netflix film, but it's like a Disney afternoon film that I would watch, right? And that's
why can't they have a 10 in quality and production and performance?
100%. I'll give it all of that. The overall film, I just think there could have been more to it. So I give it an 8. That's what I hate it.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Give them 10s all the time. All right. And then before we close out the show, I just want to go our first film, Hip Hop Family Christmas. If you had to rate that, Rob, give it to me on a 1 out of 10. There's directors out there watching, Rob, so be careful. Be very careful.
Bro, why are you putting me in this awful situation?
You don't have to say anything, Rob. You can just say, you know what, I recommend it. You should see it. We don't have to grade it at all. All right, so that's our show. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. As usual, this has been a great time. This is Rewriting with Ro. I am your host, Ro Carter. That's my co-host, Rob. Thank you. Until next week. I have some ideas. I want to see the new film, The Black Pilot. I want to do that. So I have some ideas for that. There's some other big films that are coming out on Netflix, some other shows, but we'll keep you in the mix and I'll post it this weekend.
Oh, perfect. Oh, you mean the one with Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, Jonathan Majors is going to be huge. He's already big, but he's gonna be huge. This movie and then Creed 3, you're not even gonna be able to touch this man. So strong face. Anyway. Thank you, everybody. It's been a good time. Rob, be safe.
Peace.